What's up, my fellow legendaries? Rainquaza here, bringing you, this time I'm going to just simply bring you a deck profile of my Slushy deck, which is by popular demand, because people have actually wanted to see it, for one, and let's make sure I'm actually recording, because last time I did this, Camtasia was being dumb and wouldn't save it, so it completely erased everything I did, because Camtasia was just being mental. Okay. So, if I don't sound quite as enthusiastic during this one, it's probably because I just did it. Okay, so, we'll start off with 3 Dupe Frog. Basically it's there as a frog. This deck is basically Frog Slushy. It's there for several reasons. One, if I have this monster, my opponent has to attack it and can't attack another monster. If I have 2 Dupe Frogs, my opponent can't attack any monster. And if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 frog monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That's useful. It actually gets the deck going, lets you grab a swap frog. That's pretty much it. I usually grab a swap frog. Also, ignore Frog the Jam. Frog the Jam is a normal monster that no one would ever use. So basically they're just like saying, no one would ever use this card? Hang on, what area am I recording? Because there's not like a border. Hang on, I'm gonna pause it quick. Okay, it does seem like I'm recording properly, so let's continue. I explained Dupe Frog, basically what I grab with it. Next, Poison Draw Frog. I'm thinking about cutting this straight up. But basically, when this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card. That's useful. Basically, there's like 2 main uses for that. One, I can basically be like, Swap Frog effect, which I'll get into later. I'll just explain the main one right now. I can explain part of it. You can tribute summon for Sea Lancer or Poseidra. Draw a card. Or if it's equipped to Sea Lancer, which I'll get into later as well, you can detach. We'll basically explain Sea Lancer now. You basically attach any. Why is it not going? You can target a number of fish, sea serpent, and aqua type monsters. Equip them to this card. This effect can only be used once when this card's face up on the field. If the face up card be destroyed, you can destroy one of those cards instead, aka Poison Draw Frog. And then, yeah. So, basically, it gains 1,000 attack for each, which can be really useful. If you attaching 3, it becomes a 4,300 attack monster that has to be killed 4 times in order to actually die, including by battle. So, and you also get a draw with it with Poison Draw Frog. So, now I've explained why Poison Draw Frogs are good. I'll get into Swap Frog right now, because why the heck not? It's a really good card. It's up there with Rodentone, and his cards I'd probably use the most. Swap Frog. Discard 1 water monster, or summon this card from your hand. It's really useful, and when it's summoned at all, you can select and send 1 level 2 or lower aqua type water monster from your deck or your side of the field to the grave. Once per turn, you can return 1 monster you control to the hand to normal summon a frog monster in addition to the normal summon set this turn. Now, heed this comma right here in mind. That's not saying you can't return Swap Frog. That's saying you can return any monster you have, and then you just can't summon another Swap Frog. Normal summon. You can still use Swap Frog's effects, okay, so this is basically what I do with it. Be like, okay, I'll discard Poseidra, and then go for my deck, and even discard Slushy or Rodentone. I'll explain that later, but Slushy, basically, if I get 3 copies in my graveyard, I can start spamming stuff, which will basically explain the whole synergy of this deck. Also, a key point is, I can do it all over again. I can be like, discard, special summon him, return him back to the hand, normal summon another frog, then re-special summon by discarding a card, send 1 from the deck to the graveyard. And if I do that, I can be like normal summon for an extra normal summon Poison Draw Frog. And then I can normal summon Sea Lancer, tribute Poison Draw Frog, draw a card. And then you can be like Rodentone's effect if I dumped it with Swap Frog, banish that Draw Frog. And then if I dropped, depending how what else I have in my graveyard, I might be able to special summon another Rodent Totem. Overlay for Gachi, I guess. Well, no, I also have Swap Frog on board, so if I special summon one of them, I can overlay make Gachi, which gives 400 attack and defense to each face-up monster control. So you basically have a 3,700 attack Sea Lancer because you use Swap Frog's effect, and you got a card to draw off Poison Draw Frog, which is really handy. I don't know if you guys can follow that at all, but you basically get the 1,000 attack for each monster that you equipped. You equip 2 monsters, 1 or 2 monsters, depending how many Rodent Totems, which at least 1 Draw Frog. So if it would be destroyed, Draw Frog gets you a draw. Draw Frog gives energy to the deck. It's just handy. Just run it. Rodent Totems effect. I didn't explain Rodent Totems effect. I went in that big long rant. I apologize, guys. Okay. The Dace Frog isn't like important at all. You can move from play 1 frog monster in your graveyard, except this crappy guy over here, to special summon this card from your grave. It's basically, like I said, it's for overlaying. If you don't, I'm not gonna actually explain how you XYZ summon. You just take, well, you take just 2 monsters at the same level. If you want a really good explanation, Google it. You make your Digesto Phoenix, which I can detach from an XYZ material to allow any wind to attack twice, which is basically Digesto Phoenix or Lidivier, which I've never made Lidivier. So basically, get 2 attacks with Digesto Phoenix. Or you make Gachi, which becomes a 2,200 wall that that can't be destroyed by battle as long as it has an XYZ material. And all your monsters gain 400 attack and defense, 200 attack and defense for each XYZ material. So if you can protect him with stuff like Dupe Frog on board, since Dupe Frog means you have to attack Dupe Frog. Dupe Frog has 2,400 defense, Gachi is 2,200. You can prevent Gachi from dying, keep your Dupe Frog from being really strong so it can't die, and basically sit up in your opponent's face. That can be pretty useful. I pretty much explained as part of Slushy's effect that if I have 3 copies in my grave. Oh, I don't really use this that much, but you can normal summon, and then if you send one Slushy from your deck to graveyard, which I'll get more intricate into later. If you have 3 copies of Slushy, even in your graveyard or removed from play combined, you manage to discover from the grave, target 1 level 5 or higher Sea Serpent type monster in the graveyard, special summon it. You can only use a Slushy 1 per turn, so you can be like, special summon 2 Poseidrus and the Levia Dragon Daedalus on the same turn, using Slushy's effects. Okay, so why is that useful? You can do many things. One, just like grab a Poseidrus, dump it on board. 2,800 monsters, that's hard as crap to deal with. I'm basically going into these guys because that's basically their key purpose. I'll go into Levia Dragon Daedalus' effect later. It's really useful, and I'll explain that then in detail. Also, you can, since it's level 5 or higher, you can grab Sea Lancer, and then use Sea Lancer's effect, equip Slushy and any other monsters. If it was an intricate play, intricate play after the play before, you could have like a 2-place and draw frog remove from play, and another Gachi on board. Oh man, Rodent Totem and Swap Frog is really intricate because you can be like, nothing on board. Basically make 2 Gachis, a Sea Lancer, and a Sea Lancer with at least 2,700 attack after Gachi, and draw a card off Poison Draw Frog. That's how intricate these combos can get. The deck, now, don't get discouraged by when you're testing this deck by, this is like so intricate, I'm never going to learn all these combos. That's what I thought when I really played the deck. They're constantly learning new combos with the deck, but that's with like any deck. You just have to like basically, when you start playing, it's basically what I'm telling you now is most of the plays I've learned so far, good plays I've learned recently. So basically, you can be like, okay, I know these plays, let's try to use them, and then, I can use some other plays, stuff like, like I'm going to go into in a minute. Tour Guide, pretty straightforward. Its effect is basically, I normal summon Tour Guide, special summon Tour Guide, make it instant, level rank 3. Usually make Zen mains, make Leviathan Dragon, which is basically a 2,500, I can do whatever I want when I detach, but I can't attack directly if I have no Xyz material. Acid Golem, which is 3,000 attack monster, but I can't attack if it has no Xyz material. Or XYZ material, whatever you say. Or Zen Maze. I make, or Leviathan, Levier, which I never make. I probably did cut it shortly. But what I like about Zen Maze is this deck doesn't have that much destruction of monsters and stuff. If this face-up card will be destroyed, you can detach when it exceeds material from this card instead. Which sure, during your end phase, if I had to use the effect to save Zen Maze this turn, I just destroy a card on the field. That can be, no matter what, it's a good effect. If my opponent has something on board, blow it up. If my opponent completely wiped their board afterwards, like if a card like Dark Hole, so I'd have to, nah, not like Dark Hole. But if opponents like destroy the cards, then wipe my board, make you take damage or something, some sort of play. And I have to destroy my own card. Most chances it'll either be Rodent Totem or a Frog with Rodent Totem Grave, allowing me to set up plays for next turn. It's really useful. Like I might have mentioned, I don't know. Destruction is really handy because I don't have many cards that destroy monsters, which is so it's really useful. Well, attacking into monsters, but if my opponent is a really annoying monster, it's like, it can't be destroyed by battle, I don't have many ways to get rid of it. Okay, so, Night Assailant. It's an extra target for Tour Guide. Basically, I can special summon him instead of another Tour Guide if I have 2 Tour Guides in hand. Also, Night Assailant has an effect that lets me destroy a monster my opponent controls. That's really handy, as this deck doesn't have many destruction cards. A card I'm thinking of putting in this deck for more destruction is Snowman Eater. Will it load? Yep. Which basically, if it's flipped face up, target one monster your opponent control, target one face up monster on the field, destroy that target. I might cut Oyster Meister for a Snowman Eater, so we'll see. Or I might cut Return of the Distant Dimension. I'm testing that. I'll get into that in a minute. Oyster Meister. There's not too many intricate combos of it. Basically, it's a 1600 attack monster, which might not seem like much, but it's really useful when most of your monsters are like, aside from Swap Frog, or 100 attack monsters, or even 0 in the case of Slushy. It's always useful to have a normal summon 1600 that if I have Gotchi on board using Swap Frog, special summon schemes, and Rodent Totem special summon schemes, just to slam my opponent's monsters. Also, I can tribute it with for Sea Lancer. If he just be destroyed except by battle, my opponent like Dark Hole's field, I grab a token. I'm basically running Oyster Meister over Duke Frog as not Duke Frog over Treeborn Frog, as Treeborn Frog can't be special summoned if you have spell or trap cards on the field. And Sea Lancers equipped are considered spell and trap cards, even though they're monsters. So Treeborn Frog is a dead card if Sea Lancer is on the field. Which Sea Lancer is such a good card. I hate to have a dead card in hand. I mean, dead card in the graveyard just because I'm going offensive for Sea Lancer. That's why Oyster Meister is more handy. Like I said, it's a decent attack monster, not another 100 attack monster for tribute. Deck doesn't have that many tributes, so yeah. We'll have a decent amount, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, we'll get, like I said, we'll get into Leviathan Dragon Daedalus late in a minute. Besidra has another effect that if I have 3 water monsters on board, I can tribute them, which also works towards Oyster Meister's effect of special summoning a token. And special summon him from a hand or the graveyard, and then I can return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. And if I return 3 or more cards, which you probably will, you probably just make sure you do. You might just be like, I'll set salvage just so I can do it. And then all monster opponent currently controls lose 300 attack for each. Which is what I didn't, this is why it's sort of good to have to use again. 300, I didn't realize it was 300 attack for each. That's pretty incredible. If basically that's minus 900 attack, which is even better than I thought. I was saying he's a pseudo 3100 because he lowers your opponent's 30. He lowers your opponent's 3000 to the point where you can attack over them, and 3100 and the point where they both die. Or if you Gotchi on the more, it's more attack. But right now, if you have 4 let me put this into perspective. If you returned 4 spell or trap cards on the field to the hand, which by the way includes Sea Lancers, if you for some reason are like, I'll return all of Sea Lancers equipped in hand, weaken my opponent's monsters to absolute garbage. If you want to do that, that's always a way to do it. If he returns 4 cards to the hand, your opponent's Obelisk the Tormentor, which is one of the original Egyptian god cards. If has 4,000 attack, if you return 4 cards, Poseidra now lowers him to the point where they both die. I believe. Wait, this. Yeah, I believe you can do that. Yeah. So yeah, he becomes a 2,800 you can slam into. Mulan Glace is another 2,800, 2,800 attack monster. I can't special summon him unless I originally have 5 monsters in Water Monster Graveyard and special summon. There's several uses for him. One, if I have a ton of water monsters and I really can't get the number down very easily, I can use him as discard fodder for Swap Frog. But if I do have 5 waters, I also get to discard 2 random cards from your opponent's hand, which my opponent usually has 2 cards when I use the effect or less. He's a downside of if he dies, I have to skip my next battle phase. But he's a really handy card. Most decks are like, oh, I'll keep this card in my hand so my opponent can't get rid of it. Surprise! I'll destroy your whole hand. Boom! How's that feel? Glores, the Emissary of Darkness, which gets special summoned if you attack directly and stuff, and it's a pain in the butt to deal with. Creature swap, basically a key play with creature swap. Basically, you choose a monster, and the opponent chooses a monster, and you swap control of them. A key play with that would be like normal summon Slushy, send a Slushy from your deck to the graveyard. With his effect, since he's normal summoned, activate creature swap, give Slushy to your opponent. Take their monster, use their monster to slam into Slushy, they take the full damage because Slushy has 0 attack. You have to take an attack position monster. That's important to note because the monsters cannot change the battle position for the rest of the turn. That basically means yours can't, since you can't activate during your opponent's turn. That'd be handy. You'd be your opponent delivers an attack. Activate. Gives you Slushy in defense mode. You can't do anything. Anyways, what the heck does this do? Hey, I'll make a deck around it. Huh. Not bad. Okay, so, like I was saying, you'd be like, you have 2 Slushies in the graveyard, which is basically what you need to bring out just the Poseidras or Leviathan Dragons. Basically, all you need is 1 more Swap Frog and you can get it off, which is really useful. I'm running 1 Dark Cult, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Monster Reborn. This is pretty standard. You can read the effects quick. I'll hover over them. Find some more. They're pretty standard. Not much to explain there. Foolish Burial. This deck likes having certain cards in the grave. I can send a Slushy. I can send the Rodent Totem if I don't have as much Swap Frog fodder or stuff like that. Basically, Swap Frog is only as useful as Swap Frog is really handy, but I can only basically, unless I have another frog in my hand, I can only use his effect once a turn. Yeah, basically once a turn. We'll say that. So it's handy to get an extra card to dump stuff in the graveyard. Okay, we'll go into Lemuria, the Forgotten City. What's my time at? Oh, I'm even later than the last video. Good job. Okay. So, Lemuria, the Forgotten City, its card name is Umi, which we'll get into in a second. All water monsters gain 200 attack and defense, which can be useful. I'm not even going to really go into that. Basically, 200 attack and defense makes sure your Rodent Totem have 2,200, so your opponent's 21 and 2,200 can actually kill it. Also making your Dupe Frog a pain in the butt to kill. But also the other effect is once per turn during your main phase, you can have all water monsters you control gain levels equal to the number of water monsters you can control until the end phase. Okay, so that effect now makes your Swap Frog special summon, your Rodent Totem special summon with Lemuria on the field. It turns into basically you can make Bahamut Shark, or Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller, I'm not even going to go into. You'll probably see it. I'll probably show it off if in the dual video. If not, I'll explain it then. At the end of the video, I'll explain stuff in my extra deck. I don't really have too much time. I don't want to waste like a ton of time, like your time either. Basically, Bahamut Shark, I can detach one special summon a length 3 or water monster. Basically, Leviathan Dragon or Acid Golem. Leviathan Dragon can't attack directly and has 2,000 attack. Acid Golem can't attack, period, but it has 3,000 attack and defense. And I take 2,000 damage from each of my standby phases. Acid Golem is basically there as another creature swap. I can give it to my opponent, take one of their decent monsters. Pass turn, opponent draws a card, takes 2,000 points of damage. Unless they have a card that attaches monster in the grave to a monster's Xyz material, which no one does. Pretty much. You don't obligate cards to, unless it's like some Photon deck that has really amazing Xyz monsters that you're like, okay, I'll activate this, blow up your whole board, something like that. Okay. What was that? Oh, I was still Lemuria. So yeah, Lemuria is a really handy card. It's also a field spell, so my opponent's running a deck like Necro Valley, Gravekeeper, like freaking Crobat enjoys running, which really hurts this deck. Lemuria's there. That's also why I run Mystical Space Typhoon Heavy Storm, getting rid of those pesky spell and trap cards. This deck's pretty consistent. You just have to figure the deck out, which isn't that difficult. Like I said, I don't know if I said it. I might have said. I believe I did, or either that it was the previous part of this. Because like I said, I recorded this. This is the second time I'm recording this. Yeah, this deck isn't that hard to figure out. You just have to like find the basic combos out. Like, I'm basically telling you what I know. Like, I barely ever use Slushy's normal summon effect, send it to the graveyard and use creature swap and stuff like that. That's a cool effect that you can use that I really don't take advantage of that often. Also, another thing about Lemuria, like I mentioned before, its name is treated as Umi. And so basically, a key play you can be like is, I have 3 Slushies, banish a Slushy. So some Leviathan Dragon, well, Umi is on the field. Send Umi to the graveyard for Leviathan Dragon's effect. Destroy all other cards on the field except Daedalus. That's really handy. It's basically a pseudo Black Rose Dragon, which Black Rose Dragon destroys all cards on the field. Except it doesn't destroy itself. It has more attack than Black Rose Dragon. It's basically the same level as Black Rose Dragon. You can special summon it from your graveyard from Slushy, normal summon it. And your deck actually has many resources. You can be like special summon Swap Frog, special summon Rodent Toad, overlay, make Daigusto Phoenix attack effect, detach, allow it to attack twice. Leviathan Dragon attack, Daigusto attack. My opponent loses 5,600 life points that turn if they don't have like Gores or something to drop. Also, even more handy if you use that effect, and it now gives you 5 water monsters in your graveyard. You can drop Mulan Glace, discard your opponent's cards in your hand, maybe hit a Gorge or a Trigoi that would stop you. That would basically special summon when you declare an attack. And that's game. If you attack with Mulan Glace, Leviathan Dragon, and Daigusto Phoenix, that's over 8,000 points of damage. That's a pretty cool first turn kill. ODK. 1 turn win. I already explained Mystical Space Typhoon. Salvage is there because when you use your swap frogs, basically they're sort of dead. So salvage basically gives you extra uses off your swap frogs. Also letting you grab, since it lets you grab 2, you can be like, I'll grab a Slushy, dump Rodent Toad, extra spam. Magic Stone's my personal attack, make my opponent take that extra damage that I need to win. I'm testing Return of a Different Dimension. I pay half my life points, which isn't the best thing ever, but it's not the worst thing ever either. My special summon as many removed from play monster special. I special summon as many of your remove from play monsters as possible. And during that phase, I remove from play all the monsters that are summoned by this effect. Basically, sorry I'm talking so fast then. Basically, I use it, bring out like 2 level 2s, like what else? 2 level 3s? Can I do that? Possibly 2 level 3s, or at least like 2, at least maybe 5 level 2s, and be like overlay, and make Gotchi Daigusto, or make 2 Daigustos, and basically overflow my monsters with overflow my opponent with big monsters. Also, if you've got Lemuria on board, you can make Biscayos if you have 5 on board, because they gain equal levels equal to the number of waters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They all gain 5 because there's 5. You can overlay 2 of them. Make a YUGIOH, which is annoying. It's 2 level 7 water monsters. If it has Xyz material, your opponent's level 5 or higher monsters can attack. No, wait. Level 5 or higher monsters can attack, period. That doesn't affect Xyz monsters. And that basically only affects your Sea Lancer because you're not going to really be attacking with Duke Frogs and stuff. And its other effect is I can detach one Xyz material, negate all face-up effects of all face-up monsters opponent controls that must attack in this card until the end phase of the turn. You can use that during either turn. And also, with Under Lemuria, it becomes a 3,000 attack, basically meaning that pretty much any monster that has an effect probably can't use its effect. And if it does, you basically probably have to tribute like 3 monsters for it or something like that, like Uplift the Tormentor. Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, not even going to explain those cards, they're pretty much staples. Okay, so this was a really long deck video, but if you're a person like Crowbat who actually went to see this, and you're like, oh, so this is that's how the deck works. Now I actually know what I'm doing when I play with it, and I won't look like an absolute retard or something. I'm not even going to explain this side deck because I'll explain that like during maybe in a dual video, something like that. We'll see. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope if you watched the whole way through, thank you. Let's see. What do I want to say? Okay, don't go. Okay. So if you guys want to see this, remember, right? You can like comment in the description, and I'll post more of what you guys want to see. You guys haven't been doing too much of that. But if you honestly want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, let me know, because I've been uploading very, very, very little of it. So you can like, read the description just to make sure I'm not like about to upload another video, and you're like, oh, can you upload more Yu-Gi-Oh soon? I'd be like, okay, yeah, read the description quick or something like that. Nah, just comment if you want to. If you want to see more of the stuff. I'll also like and stuff. Comment, subscribe. I mean, if you subscribe and you're like, oh, even especially PMing me, knowing that you're taking the time to actually go add me as a contact and send me a PM means a lot. Like, oh, this is a really cool thing you're doing. Can you do more of it? I'd be like, sure, I'll do the best I can, and maybe I'll recommend you. Maybe I'll be like, hey, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh or something? Do you wanna like duel me? And then I'll upload the video. Maybe shout you out. We'll see. So yeah, we'll see. Already went into all the stuff. I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, I don't know if I explained it. No, I didn't explain it in this one, I don't believe. From that, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to do a deck video. Then I'm going to do 1 duel with the deck, 1 or 2 duels with the deck, and then I'll go into a mode where I speed up the footage and put music in the background, and you guys just watch the plays, and there'll be no audio. But I want to at least show you guys how me using the deck before I do that. So yeah, just expect there'll be like one or 2 duel videos following this shortly, and then expect, that when I upload future ones, they'll be a lot shorter, but there won't be like any explanation. Until next time, this is Rainquaza, signing out. Peace, YouTube.